Woo! What's up, guys? Welcome back to my t-shirt printers. I'm Mike. 2 seconds. Ooh. That's a bit better. Welcome back to my t-shirt printers. I'm Mike. Let's do this. So, it's week... I can't even remember which week it is. I think we're in week 2. It feels like 3 months at the moment. We are in week 2. Week 2 of lockdown. So, not a whole lot going on over here in the workshop. I think we've got one teeny little job through, which I'm really grateful for. There's not a whole bunch going on at the moment. So, what are you all up to? Oh, helicopter. Can you hear that? So what are you guys up to under your lockdown? How long have you guys been locked down for? As I said, I think we're on week 2. Definitely week 2. I'm still not convinced of that, but anyway, I think it is. Have you tried any of the Illustrator tutorials? I'll leave a link up over here. Just have to check what side it is. I can never remember which side it is. If not, give one of those a go. I've also created a community on Facebook. Keep on creating. I'll leave a link in the description below. Head on over there. I'd love to see what you guys are up to at this point in time. I really would like us to try at this point when we've got the time to be really creative, and we should definitely be keeping on creating and really trying to like push our boundaries at this point. So head on over there, let's see what you guys are up to. I'd really like to see it. So what are we going to be doing today? Well, today I thought, remember those patches I mentioned a little while ago? Well, how about I go through on how I actually make these patches? So I thought that's what we could do today. Let's do it. Take you up in boom boom bosh, boom boom. Tell me I'm the only one that you know. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is just sort out the colors. Now for this one I need a bright green, a bright red, and a bright blue. I'm just checking on the monitor up there just to see what I have to do. So I do want these on 75 needles. So I don't know how you guys organize your needles, but I tend to keep mine in a set place. So I know that those ones are always set as like 75. I've got my 75s, I've got my 80s, I've got my 65s, and then I got my 60s. How do you guys set yours up? So what I've actually done, I've got a sticker stuck up there, and it's got my breakdown of what my needles, and I've also got my set blacks and my set whites, so I don't have to constantly keep on changing colors. It just optimizes the workflow. Let me show you. So up there you can see I've got a layout of how I actually do it. So I've got my 60s, my 65s, my 75s, and my 80s all set up over there. And that's how I just try to keep things quite easily flowing. Got my set blacks, got my set whites. That's how I do it. Okay, so let me just change these colors over. Take you up in boom boom bosh, boom boom. Tell me I'm the only one that you know. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. Okay, so what are some of the things we are going to need for this badge? Well, number one, we're going to need some sort of a fabric to actually embroider onto. So what I've actually got, I've got this felt here that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this grey color. Now this is about a 2mm felt, so it's quite chunky. I find you get a pretty good embroidery out of felt. You could just do it onto a normal twill. I mean, we sew out all our samples onto a twill. This works absolutely fine. Just use a good stiff backing. Another thing we're going to need is some scissors. So the scissors I like to use, they've actually got like a little bit of a bend to them. Just when you try to cut out the badge or the fabric in the hoop, I find this little bit of a bend actually helps. So these are actually really cool. Other than that, we just need to get some backing, which I've left in the office. So let me go grab that quick. And how are we gonna... It's you. Becky. Okay, so basically what I like to do is when I'm hooping something like this, I do like to use a thick back end. Just gives it extra stability, and you'll find out what actually happens when we're trying to cut it out a little bit later. So let's get our felt hooped up and our embroidery going. Let's do this. If I could take you up in boom boom bosh, boom boom. Tell me I'm the only one that you know. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Okay, so before we start embroidering here, what we're going to do is make sure that we put a stop in somewhere. So what I like to do my entire embroidery first. I put a stop in just before I do the border, and you'll see that what I do in a second. So I'll do the whole embroidery, then I'm going to stop after I've done the outline of the actual circle. Then I'm going to take it off, cut it up, put it back on, and get that satin stitch going. It'll all make sense in a second. Let's carry on. So it's just doing its last little border before it's going to hit that stop in, or that hold. It should stop. It stopped. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it off now pretty carefully. I mean, you don't want to pull it and get it out of register or anything. You just want to keep it in register, so be careful when you're handling it at this stage. Okay, so you can see it's got the circle going around the badge on the outside of it here. That's where I'm basically going to cut. So I'm just going to make it like a little slot over here, and then cut all the way around this badge over here, and then I'm going to cut like a bigger piece out there. But I'm going to leave the edges of this felt still hooped in. I'm not going to cut that out because I still want the hoop to be nice and tight. So let's start cutting this up. Okay, so I've cut off all my excess bits and everything, so it ends up looking like that there. So what I've done is cut as close to that guideline as possible there, because you want to cut as close to, because obviously then you want your satin stitch to fill up that area, and you don't want any of the little bits of felt poking out of it. Okay, so let's get this back on the machine and sew up that border. Cool. So now all we're going to do is basically take, I'm running over the felt. So what we're going to do is just take the felt, pop the frame off, and take the felt away. And we're just left with our embroidery on the backing. So now it's really easy just to take the backing and peel it away from the actual embroidery. So we just peel it away. So you can see it just peeling, peeling, peeling. And there we go, we've got our patch. Let's just get some light onto this. Just had to move it over here because the light just wasn't working. Right, so there we go. There's the patch over there. It's pretty cool. I'm digging how that looks. To wait for it to focus. Get out the way. So that is the patch there. So what you can do if you want is that you can actually use a black backing for this. If you don't want the little bit of the white edges, if you want to use black backing, would hide that a bit. It just stops it from having to try and cut this out afterwards. It just makes a neater edge on this. So the last thing to do for this is just put some iron on the back of this, so you can basically iron it onto anything instead of sewing, because as you know, I can embroider, but don't ask me sew anything, because I can't sew. No way. Let's get some iron-on backing onto this and finish this project off. Okay, so I've got my heat press set on 170 degrees Celsius. I put the Fahrenheit up here. What I've got is my adhesive film over here and my badge over here. Now pressure wise for this, it's got to be on a very, very light pressure. So what I actually like to do is just get a piece of greaseproof paper. I'm just going to put that down onto my heat press. And the first thing I do is, number one, I make sure it's nice and flat. I'm just going to feel how light I've got it. I just do the little bit of a test to make sure it's nice and light. Just do that 3 seconds if you want. Just make sure it's nice and soft, not a heavy pressure at all. It's got to be very light. You don't want your adhesive just to go all the way in and then you can't basically iron it on whatever you want to iron it on. So then we're going to place it back to front on here. I am going to get another piece of greaseproof paper and I'm going to place that over the top of this. So I'm just going to press it lightly for 5 seconds on either side. So 5 seconds on this side, so there's my 5. Take that off. I'm just going to take the whole thing, flip it over and press it for 5 seconds on the reverse side. There we go. So that's all we need to do. 5 and 5 and that's it. So you can see it's stuck to this here. So you can see that there. Let's get a nice light shot. So you can see it's stuck to this carrier sheet. Now all I would do is just grab a pair of scissors quick. I'm just going to trim around the excess of this. There we go. So that, now if you just crack the back, you can take the carrier sheet off or you can leave it on if you want. So I'm just going to take it off just to show you guys. So there we go. I'm just going to peel that off. There we go. So you can see it's got the iron-on backing on the back there. I'm going to show you in the light there. So you can see it's like really nice and glossy. Let me just focus in on that so you can actually see it. So it's like got that glossy shine to it. And that is ready to iron on onto whatever you want, really. Polyester cotton is probably the best thing. Cotton is the best thing. So what you want to do when you want to iron on these patches, it's a heavy pressure, 160 degrees to 190 degrees, heavy pressure, no steam. And that is how you do that. Happy with that? Okay, so don't forget to head on over to the Facebook page, Keep On Creating. As I said, I'll leave the link down below. We'd love to see what you guys are actually up to, what you're creating, what's going on in the world out there. Not that I can see anything because I blocked that whole thing off anyway. So I've got a question for you guys today. I want you to tell me how many stitches you think are in this logo. Let me get out of the way. Tell me how many stitches on that, just for a bit of fun. And that about brings it to the end of today's episode. Follow us on our social channels, smash that like button, stay safe, keep creating, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out of here. Good cupcake. Not bad.